Hi, I'm Irina Lutai, just an ordinary person whose life became different from November 2013 when my friend and I visited the elderly home in the village Peremoga, means victory, near Kiev for the first time. Since that, my heart belongs to 49 old people who live there. The same as for my family and for my best friends. And so begins the story of the Charitable Foundation, Nasha Peremoga, or Our Victory in English, headed by me. When we started, we hardly understood the meaning, the importance and the complexity of what we were doing. It was pure emotion of compassion and sorrow at the same time, and a big desire to be helpful, to try to make these someone's grandmoms and grandpa's lives a little bit better, happier. Many of these lonely people already have no hope to be loved, really interesting to somebody, useful. That's why most of them prefer to live out their lives and finally to become sleeping old person, waiting for nothing. Few of them still trying to live. So we started with the essential, with getting little but important victories in the affairs of goodness and caring, warmth and creativity, joy and love. Almost all our first steps were focused on bringing as much attention, warmth, care to our new friends as we could. We visited them, talked to them, entertained them, brought presents to them. And by doing that, we found out there were at least two main directions to be developed. The first one, to help the old people from Peremoga to live their golden age, not to live it out. The second one, but also important, to support them in their domestic, everyday life, which can't be stable or even worse due to constant underfunding from the part of the state. In the first direction, the nice thing was our joint project with the charity store Laska, called Braided Rugs. This is a good initiative, which not only involves our friends of Peremoga into some nice occupation or hobby, but also has a social rehabilitation accent, because the rugs creators are compensated for their work. Another project of the same nature done in October was planting fruit trees in the garden of Peremoga and decorative bushes in front of the main building. Some Peremoga's inhabitants were taking part in the planting, and everybody was celebrating it together after all works were done. Now all of us are looking forward to the harvest. The performance of the second direction of our activity needs a considerable funding. While the overhaul of the kitchen we managed by private benefactors' contribution, for the overhaul of the electrical system, which has never been undertaken since 1967, we decided to address to Kiev Lions Club for help. Knowing the KLC policy included the elderly support, we hoped we could count with some help, but we did not expect that so tough piece of work for Peremoga would receive financial support in such a short time, and we would be able to finalize the total repairing before the heating season. It's a great deal for Peremoga, because due to this project not only 49 people who live there have light, water and heating, but also for its personnel, people who do a great job for a small salary. We know the cases when Peremoga's employees had to cook or to wash clothes for the elderly home residents at their homes. Now all is done, there is a perspective to automate some processes: washing dishes, careful washing and ironing, cooking, etc. These two directions we focus our help on are necessary and important, and we decided to develop both of them, to improve the living conditions in Peremoga and to make every soul, for some reason, living out in the elderly home to find some meaning, joy and warmth in their declining years. After all, the old age is not a sentence, even in the elderly home.